Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Taurus energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row I refer to as high vibe Taurus energy. The bottom row, a more worldly, shadowy Taurus energy. We've all got free will and we all have to make decisions in our life. And so we have our dualistic nature, we have our more hopeful, loving, believing nature, but we also have our more fearful, insecure, immature, lazy, egotistical, petty, envious, jealous, want reward without effort. The list goes on of our shadow nature, right? And so, and our shadow nature can just represent that we want to stay in our comfort zone because we can be afraid of change. To move forward in life differently, we have to face our fears. And so our shadow nature can represent our fears. So some people could be struggling within themselves. Other people, they've made their decisions. Some people are going to keep living their life the way they've been living it. Maybe don't have a problem with it. It's going fine, And other people could have moved forward in life differently at some point in time in their life. Because life's about learning lessons. And we kind of live our life at a phase of life, view life a certain way, learn lessons, and we come in contact with all these different people and life experiences to help us get clear about our truth. And when we kind of realize, you know what, I thought this was aligned with my truth and the way I did view life or the way I did want to live life. And I kind of realized it's not because it didn't really work out the way we wanted. Or we just grew or healed or matured ourselves in some way. We're not the same person we were. We've gone through that throughout our life. At age 15, at age 18, 21, 25, 30, 35, we viewed life differently at different points in time in our life. And most people kind of don't stay stagnant where they just refuse to move forward in life differently. But some people do. Some people really have a comfort zone or a way of viewing life, and they do not want to look at life any differently, might not want to grow or heal or mature themselves. So, Taurus energy has to do with our philosophy of life, how we view ourselves and the world around us and other people. And, it can be really hard to change our philosophy of life. So listen to your intuition. We all tap into Taurus energy because it does have to do with our philosophy of life. Listen to your intuition about other people where they might be in the story. At the end, we're going to get out some cards to see what could be coming up that people might not see coming, depending on if they harness a more high vibrational Taurus energy or a more worldly or shadowy Taurus energy. Let's go look at the top row. The reason for the top row's reading is the Knight of Swords, which is, I view it as Gemini energy, which has to do with our dualistic nature. Some people live their life. Down here we have the Six of Swords, moving forward, thinking, what we were headed toward was going to be a dream come true. And then either our intuition and our more loving nature told us, wait. You're kind of living more from your mind than your heart. You're kind of caught up in the world, or you're moving forward with some people that might be living more from their mind than their heart, and might be more about the world, or ego, or image, or indulgence, or self-centeredness. And our intuition tries to get us in the Strength card to temper our ego and our fears and our insecurities and not make our life so much about ourselves or so much about these things of the world. Because in the Two of Pentacles, it's about balance. We're either tipped out of balance or we're kind of maintaining balance. And it's like, yes, I do want these things of the world. I do want stability, security, enjoy some of the finer things in life. But high vibe people also, in high vibe Gemini, I want truth and love and justice and fairness, and to be high vibe Taurus, to be proud of myself that I'm acting with character and integrity. And I want to be in relationships with other people who are truthful and honest and just and fair and act with character and integrity. And there could have been some people that you could have been in relationship with, if that's a friend group, in your original family, in other people you were in a family relationship with, a workplace, and maybe some of those people are kind of defensive. They wanted you to keep moving forward with them, but they're defensive to tempering their ego and being more balanced. And they kind of want you to keep moving forward with them, but kind of indulging them in their kind of defensive or shadowy ways of being. And it's like, that might be your idea of the dream life. That's not my idea of the dream life. And people can view life and relationships any way they want. Some people, I view both the Six of Swords and the Star card as Aquarius energy. Some people's truth is, I either like to go indulge in these things of the world. I'm sure that is the answer to me being happy. So whatever I want to go indulge in or make my life about, other than love, and it could be just being more about themselves, I want it to be more about me. For some people, that's how they view life. That's their truth. That's how they want to live their life. And some people are kind of shadowy, and because they kind of indulge their more immature, worldly, or self-centered nature, their idea of the dream life is to get someone else who keeps indulging them being that way. And you are supposed to be defensive, to kind of tempering your own fears and insecurities and picking up your investment in them to get more balance within yourself, to stand up for what you believe in. And if you do that, some of those people, they're mad and they don't want you to be there anymore. And they're going to go find someone else who views life the way they view life, wants to live life the way they want to live life, or make their life about those things that they make important in their life. But they might harness a more worldly, shadowy Taurus and Gemini nature, because in our free will, we have the free will. Am I going to build a foundation on truth and love? Or and love is supposed to be just and fair. You're supposed to treat other people the way you like to be treated. And some people are like, I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I don't want to be more just and fair. I might be defensive. I might be self-protective. I might be more about me. I might be more about ego and image and money or indulgence. And we all like to hang out with people who are kind of on the same page as us. And we can be in friendships and relationships with people for quite a long time, because there could be a lot of things that we have in common, say that we enjoy doing together. We have similar ways. Again, Taurus energy is about kind of our philosophy of life. Say if you're both not reckless and immature, I want to hang out with other people who aren't reckless and immature. If, we both could have some common dreams, like, I do want to be in a relationship. I do want to be married. I do want to have a job, And so in those ways, we have a lot of commonality. But, we could be in a relationship with someone sometimes for long periods of time. And as we're going through the relationship, there's a lot of things to navigate. Well, I like this and you like that. And I like, just all these different things. And we could be moving along and we're trying, everybody could be kind of tempering themselves somewhat. There's got to be kind of give and take. If you're going to work together with other people, it can't just be all about you. So everybody kind of tempers their ego some to do kind of some equal give and take in the relationship. But as the relationship goes forward, that's when you could start to work through a lot of other things, but then eventually it could kind of get down to where people really have to deal with a core foundational truth. What is it ultimately that drives and motivates you? And some people, it is about love. And for other people, it's more about ego and image or themselves. And And they could think everybody should stay in it because this is like victorious and successful. We look like shining stars. That's enough reason to stay in it. But they could live more from their mind than their heart. These three are all earth sign energy. Air sign energy of the mind. Where everything could be more, we should do is practical and logical. We all want these things in the world. We all want to look victorious and successful. We all want to accomplish these certain goals in life that we might have. This makes practical, logical sense. But some other people are like in fire energy, Leo's fire energy, and the Two of Pentacles is earth sign energy, and it's Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy can be about what we view as victorious. And some people, what they view as victorious and the way they defend wanting to move forward, is kind of a little bit more kind of juggling. Like, I want to look like maybe I'm a pillar of society, because that's kind of Taurus energy, is kind of looking like a pillar of society. But are you really? Do you really walk the talk? Or is that just the illusion you create so you look like you're this stable, grounded person? You're not prideful. You're not egotistical. You're not self-centered. You're not more materialistically driven. It's about, trying to present themselves as a more authentic, balanced person motivated by love. But as time goes by, people are like, yeah, I don't think that's your truth. I think you're a little bit more about yourself or these things of the world. And that's when people, as time goes by, could realize that, other people are a little defensive to tempering their more prideful nature. That kind of in a subtle way or a big way, they kind of think it should be more about them, and that people should stay in these situations because of these more worldly reasons and love. And that's when you kind of realize that, with our dualistic nature, there comes a time in our life where some people pick a path. And some people are still juggling. Well, I don't know if I really want to do love. I don't know if I really want to make my life more about me or the world, or if I have hope and faith and belief in myself or in love. And other people work through the Six of Swords, moves away from the Five of Swords, which is also Aquarius energy of maybe being more caught up in the world, in themselves, and they've looked at life from a higher perspective, and they work through their mental conflict about the fact that, feeling like, what is my truth? And some people work through it, and it's like, I do believe in a higher truth and justice. I think there's more to this world than making my life just about me. If I want to work together with other people, and high vibe Leo is with people, they don't have to be a Leo sun sign, a Capricorn, an Aquarius, a Gemini, a Taurus. We all harness all the zodiac sign traits and characteristics in either a more high vibe way, a more worldly way, or a more shadowy way. And the people right now that in high vibe Taurus, they're in their truth. They have looked at life from a higher perspective. They have put things in perspective. They have worked through their defensive nature. They come out of this process with the truth, and the truth sets us free to live our life differently. I could have before been more defensive to picking a path, because I was kind of in my ego about these things of the world and these things I wanted to indulge in or making my life about. But I probably went and pursued those things, and something about it, I either see the truth or I'm taking that mental conflict with me. And eventually, as time goes by, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth. And we could realize a way that we were moving forward this isn't my truth. And it could be a real subtle difference, again, just about why do I do what I do? Why do I stay in certain friendships and relationships? Why do other people stay in friendship or relationship with me? What about the people I'm in contact with and surrounding myself by? Are they defensive? Are they kind of more about themselves or the world? Do they ever temper their ego? Are they juggling? Have they picked a path? What's my truth? And people do this work within them. It's like, I have hope and faith and belief that there's more to this world and more to me. I have more worth and value than what I wear and what I drive and what I look like and how much money I have if I'm in a relationship or not in a relationship. I want to work through, I don't want my more worldly, beastly nature, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego, my fear, my insecurity, my defensiveness, my codependency to run my life. High Vibe Leo is about giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you. To be a loving, nurturing person to yourself. To get more balance within yourself, I need to offer myself love and compassion and forgiveness for the lessons I've had to learn in life, and forgive myself and forgive other people in my life. Put things in perspective. Everybody's got their issues. Everybody's got their shadowy nature. Some people work more through it than other people to be more just and fair and loving and authentic and all those things, and some people didn't. And life's all about learning lessons, and everybody's on the spectrum of having learned these lessons. And because some people in my life who I viewed as loving, that I thought would be more just and fair and balanced, because the Knight of Swords is sent by the King and Queen of Swords, which is Aquarius energy and Libra energy. And some of those people weren't as just and fair and warm and authentic and balanced with me as I would have liked them to have been. And it could have caused me a lot of mental conflict about believing in myself and my own worth and value, and believing in myself and believing in my dreams. And I had to deal with my own shadow nature that I had to stand up against, So the whole thing is, when we stand up to our own shadow nature and we offer love and compassion and forgiveness to ourselves and get more balance within ourselves instead of being tipped out of balance, enabling poor behavior in ourselves, enabling poor behavior in others, I want to feel stable and balanced within myself. I am going to treat myself in a just and fair way, because when I don't, there's a whole lot of people that would be willing to be in a relationship with me if I don't love and believe in myself, and I'm still in my fear and my insecurity, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's like a dream come true. I'll be in a relationship with you. You just keep staying, though, in your shadow energy. Don't stand up for yourself. Don't love yourself. Don't work through those issues of the past, because I don't work through mine, and I want to be in a relationship with you. That'd be like a dream come true. But I want you to stay in your more shadowy, worldly nature. And some people were like, but I don't like carrying that baggage with me. And so I was kind of inspired to put things in perspective, work through my fears and my insecurities and my past pain and heartbreak to get more balance within myself. And this whole life experience helped me get clear about my truth. And maybe before I wasn't willing to stand up for what I believed in, because maybe I wasn't really sure what I believed in or what my truth was, or maybe I didn't really believe in myself or believe in my dreams. But during the course of all this life experience, I learned to stand up for what I believe in. And when you do that, that's when there's some other people that are like, I'm leaving. I'm going to go do this again. Because we'll keep repeating a pattern until we learn the lesson we were meant to learn from it. And I think the big lesson to learn is to learn to love yourself, because otherwise you'll look outside of yourself to other things and people to be the answer to making you feel better and making you feel like a shining star or whatever, get you out of your mental conflict or your inner conflict. And the truth is, we were supposed to learn to love ourselves. And then when we get more balanced within ourselves, other people don't want to be in a relationship with us anymore because we change. We're not the same person we were when we got in that situation, but they're still the same person and they maybe didn't work through some of their baggage and they want to move forward with people who don't look through those things. And Leo energy can also be where you're just more willing to be more authentically yourself. Shadowy energy can be kind of operating from your ego, wearing a false mask. Look how wonderful my life is. Look how happy I am. And we have all this stuff hidden beneath the surface. And it's like, I want to live my more authentic life. And I don't want my ego running my life. I don't want to make my life more about presenting a certain image in the world. I want to live my truth. And I'm offering other people truth and love and encouragement who wants to move forward with me in this energy. And there's some people who don't, because in order to move forward in that energy, they would have to work through their issues, put things in perspective, get out of being defensive, more about these things of the world, more about themselves. And, you gotta, pride comes before the fall. You have to temper your ego. You have to be willing to learn lessons in life. You have to be willing to deal with the truth that it's supposed to be about love. And love is patient and kind and self-disciplined and treating other people the way you like to be treated. And for some people, that is not their truth. And you just have to be more balanced, and you have to pick up your investment in the past in order to move forward. And some people maybe want to keep their options open. I'll move forward with you until I decide I don't like it, and then I want to keep my options open to go get in a relationship with someone else or something. If people aren't authentically investing themselves in a relationship, why are they in it? And if someone comes along that they think someone more they can juggle, someone else who's in their ego, someone else who would indulge them more in their ego or has more money or status or power, if that's their truth, that's what they're going to go pursue. Because it really wasn't based on truth and love anyway. So let's go look at what these 3 cards are that aren't showing themselves. And the way I interpret that is, everybody can kind of be working at any given point in their life a little bit. And at times we have where we're kind of operating from our more worldly nature, and we're not as balanced between our hopeful, believing nature and our dreams. We're kind of tipped out of balance because we grow up in the world. We get told, you should live your life like this, and you should go do this, and you should go indulge in these things. It'll make you happy. You'll be living the dream. And so we go do that because we still hadn't picked a path. And then we get in relationships with other people who haven't maybe really picked a path. One person, though, could have more hope and faith and belief and love. The other person could be hiding that they're kind of defensive to love because, again, you can get hurt doing love, or they kind of think other people should kind of make their life more about them, and their dreams should become your dreams, and, you should make your life more about them. But we could find out, initially we didn't know that we kind of harness these energies differently. The Knight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. So, in High Vibe Virgo energy, some people are like, I might be caught up in the world. I might let my ego or my fear or my codependency kind of run my life a little bit more than I like. But I'm hoping, that as time goes by, because I have hope and faith and belief ultimately in love and myself, that, I could be kind of looking to get more in a relationship, and we all want supportive and encouraging relationships. It's another thing to kind of get in a more romantic relationship, hoping those people will be the answer to those issues for you, but we all got lessons learned, right? So we can go get, one person can be more motivated and inspired in their fire sign energy to kind of want to wrap their brain around this game of life, because the Eight of Wands is about, Sagittarius is about higher learning and education. I am someone who's willing to admit I don't know everything. I got lessons learned in life. This is where I'm at right now, and I'm going to live my life. But as I move forward, I'm going to get in relationships with people who I kind of think are on the same page as me, and people that I think I could be attracted to, that inspire me, that I feel like I can have this, what I'm looking for. But the other person could be like, yeah, I just view life differently. I am not motivated to look at life from a higher perspective. I don't think there's any higher truth or justice to aspire to. I'm motivated and inspired by the world. So in their fire sign energy, it can be a little bit more about them and the world. More shadowy Virgo energy. Money, materialism, status, image, indulgence. That's what I look to. That's what I work with. And I think that's just and fair. And I think we should make our life about those things, because I think that's going to make us victorious and successful. And it's not as inspired by a higher truth and justice, which is love. And shadowy fire sign energy can be, which anyone can harness, is kind of more about indulging themselves in relationships. I don't really want to do love. That does require me to temper my ego. And I'd have to be more balanced and just and fair in a relationship. And maybe I kind of think if I'm attractive, or I look victorious or successful, or I got social clout, or whatever I got going on, I kind of think people should be kind of willing to indulge me in a relationship and stay in the relationship, or stay at this job because of the status or the image or the money, even if I am kind of immature or egotistical or bossy or controlling or defensive. It has these things of the world. And that is kind of shadowy Taurus energy. It's not where it's where people want to present themselves as someone who walks the talk. I'm this shining star. I'm this just and fair person. I'm, stable and grounded, and people should view me that way. But it's kind of a more transactional relationship. And sometimes some shadowy people are looking for people more aligned with truth and love, that aren't more about themselves, that have tempered their more worldly, egoic, self-focused nature, that do have hope and faith and belief in love. I'm going to go try to get in a relationship with someone like that. That's great. I might want to be kind of bossy or controlling or immature or more about myself, but I like to be in relationships with people who are loving and giving and nurturing. That's like the dream, that I can be kind of shadowy and I get in a relationship with someone who's not. And because those people have hope and faith and belief in their dream, those people put a lot of work and effort into maintaining balance in a relationship. Wonderful. I'll get in a relationship with them. I'll create the illusion I have the same dream as they have. But then as time goes by, the high vibe people are putting in this work and effort to bring a dream into reality from truth and love. But over time, they kind of realize the other people are kind of still doing this. And it's like, wait a minute. I thought we were going to bring a dream into reality. It's like, no. I'm good with this. Let's keep moving forward like this. I kind of get to go with you. You have your hope and faith and belief in love. It works for me. It's good for my ego and my image and my status. And I get to indulge in a relationship with someone who's loving and warm and balanced and truthful and, so long as it works for me and these things of the world that I want, and that's what's most important to me, that's my truth, I'm willing to maybe stay in it. But the high vibe people in the Three of Wands and the World card, their dream, because the Three of Wands is in Aries energy, is also hoping, just I view the King of Wands and the Three of Wands as Aries energy. And high vibe Aries energy is about being a leader in the world and not being just more about yourself, but learning to make better decisions in your life, growing and healing and maturing yourself, to look at life from a higher perspective, to temper your ego, to be more balanced, free yourself from those things that kind of manipulate you so that your dreams can come into reality. And we close out, the World card can also talk about learning lessons. We put an end to our more defensive nature and more egotistical, immature, self-indulgent, worldly nature to move forward, really being people who aspire to grow to their full potential and walk the talk and be proud of themselves because they do act with character and integrity. And they are loving and nurturing and authentic and warm and treat other people the way they like to be treated. And eventually the high vibe people kind of realize my dream doesn't seem to be coming into reality. I thought everybody was going to do this work to put an end to their defensiveness, but some of the people I'm dealing with want to keep repeating this old pattern. And from the 1 wand to the 8 of wands is the 7 of wands, which is Leo energy, of being defensive to looking at life differently or defensive to the truth. And it's like, I can't have my dream come into reality if people keep staying defensive in their Leo energy to tempering their ego to free themselves from things that manipulate them to be more just and fair in truth and love in a relationship. And so then the high vibe people are kind of doing this work within themselves to work through their own fears and insecurities of realizing this isn't a victory worth defending. By worldly standards, it might look great and it might look victorious in a lot of ways, but it's not really the dream in truth and love. And if they keep staying in it, which, everybody has to decide for themselves when they're ready to speak their truth. And everybody's got to do this work within themselves to work through their inner conflict of letting go of something that by worldly standards could look good, or even friendships and relationships with people that you thought were going to be in your life forever, but maybe they seem to be going down a different path and kind of seem to be defensive and aren't moving forward with you anymore, and that's difficult. And, are we just willing to see the truth that if people were motivated and inspired to move forward with me in this way in truth and love, and am I willing to see, am I acting in truth and love? Am I being authentic and warm and loving? Am I being kind of defensive or controlling or more, we've got to see the truth. There can be people things of the world that we would like, but our dream can only come into reality with other people who are willing to work together with us. And are we willing to get out of our ego? Shadowy Aries can be thinking we're the boss, like I can control things, I can make people do what I want, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to manifest our dreams into reality, but everyone else has their truth and what drives and motivates them and where they are in life and what page of healing and growing and maturing they've done. And the truth is, there's some people in the world that's like, I don't want to live my life like that. You could have communicated your truth to some people. You could have tempered your pride and ego and said, I'd like to work things out with you. I think you would be someone I would like to have a dream come into reality with. And some of those people are like, could be like, well, thanks for thinking of me as being that type of person. But I don't show people. I try to present an image like I'm that type of person. And I kind of hide from the world that I really am more about myself. And I really am more about the world. But thank you for thinking I was. And that can be then why they don't move forward with you, because they know their own truth. You might not know their truth, but they know their truth. What? I'd have to speak my truth of maybe live my more authentic life, look at life from a higher perspective. I don't. What? I'd have to be more authentic, warm, and loving. I'd have to get more balance within myself. No, I'm okay being out of balance. I'll make my life about these things. You can go. You know? And that's when we have to realize that some people we did want to have a dream come into reality with, and some of those people are high vibe, and they moved when we weren't in a relationship, or, well, we were living our life and they were living their life, and we could meet people and we could communicate with people. We don't know that they're in a relationship. Some of those people could be kind of tempted by you. And they have to work through, geez, should I kind of make life more about me and turn my back on the truthful, loving people in my life and kind of be more about myself? And, you don't want that. And that's why, you communicate your truth and then you move on with your life. Sometimes we don't want people in shadowy energy to come towards us to indulge in a relationship with us. But there could be some people that are like, could be tempted by you. You're shining bright, maintaining balance within yourself, just, fair, balanced. A dream that you had wanted to come into reality didn't come into reality. You work through your shadow nature of your mental conflict about it to keep life in perspective. If they want to go be in a relationship with anyone else, high vibe, worldly vibe, shadowy vibe, it is what it is, and I deal with the truth. And I let go of that old dream. And I wish them peace. Hope it works out. And I'm going to keep maintaining balance within myself. And then there could be other people in the world, that could be moving forward in life. And again, we come in contact with all these people to find out what our truth is. And some of those people also are kind of like, wait a minute. Why am I moving forward with these people? Why are these people moving forward with me? Am I kind of juggling? Are they kind of juggling? Am I kind of defensive to love? Are the people I'm hanging out with kind of defensive to love? Or kind of bossy and controlling? What is my truth? What kind of people do I want to hang out with? And, and when there's high vibe people in the world not taking action more out of pride or ego, shadowy energy can be being immature, trying to manipulate and control people. Other people like you had, probably got relationships with people who are like that also. And it's like, wait a minute. I see some people over here being strong and balanced, and they're not taking action more for these reasons that are more shadowy. And it kind of could make them think, why did I get into the relationships I did? Why are some people in the relationship with me? If I keep moving forward with those people, is it because I'm more defensive and in my ego? Who's more aligned with my truth and who isn't? So have I people do that work within themselves, and other people, they don't want to put in the work and effort maybe to work through their mental conflict. I just want to feel better now. I want these certain things. I'm sure it'll all work out. And it probably just might not turn out the way they want. If they're taking action more out of trying to control people, because if you're not being truthful and honest and authentic, you're trying to kind of hide what ultimately drives and motivates you. And you can hide the truth some of the time from some people, but you can't hide the truth all the time. And people who get in a more involved relationship end up kind of finding out the truth of what drives and motivates you. And there's some people right now, maybe out of defensiveness, that other people wouldn't stay in a relationship with them. And they're getting in a relationship with someone else and moving forward with someone to try to tell some people in their life that, look at me, I'm a shining star. Well, that's not a good reason to get in a relationship. And eventually the people that they're in a relationship might realize the truth that I think it's more because you're still in your ego about someone else. I don't want you to be in a relationship with me because you're kind of hiding that you're hoping those people will be upset that you're in a relationship with me, and they'll communicate with you that they're in their ego about it, and then you'd go back and get in a relationship with them, High vibe people are going to be open to anybody that from their past and their present, from their future, to get to know people, but they're going to temper their more worldly and loving nature to get to know people, to find out what kind of more drives and motivates them, what their truth is, what their dream is. And there could, because there's always going to be other shadowy people who just want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you. And it's like, I don't want to repeat that old pattern. I've already been in relationships with people who were mentally strategic, or were defensive, or were controlling, or were immature, or self-centered, or more materialistically motivated, or who juggle people. And they haven't really picked a path. And then they kind of go back and forth. And it's like, I want someone who I think is telling the truth. And until my intuition is telling me someone is telling the truth, I'm not going to budge I'm going to keep living my life and pursuing my dreams and standing in my truth. But I'm not going to move forward with people in a more involved relationship until I know the truth. And some people are doing that in a relationship with someone, especially if they feel like those people are trying to tempt them in their more worldly nature. It's like, I don't want to get stuck in something, which some people right now could feel stuck in something. I don't want to get stuck in something with people who are juggling. Is this your truth or isn't this your truth? What's coming out for people who harness some high vibe Taurus energy? Some people are being kind of patient. They know some people could be struggling within themselves about having hope and faith and belief in themselves, in the dream, in love. And so long as the people keep moving forward, more aligned with having faith and truth and love, they'll keep being willing to work on the relationship. If they feel that someone is more indulging themselves, then they might speak up. It's like, if there's something else you're more interested in making your life about, again, everybody should live. I don't want someone to be in a relationship with me if they don't really want to be in a relationship with me. Go do what you want to go do. If this isn't your truth, then wish you peace. Hope it works out for you. What's coming up for the high vibe people? The Six of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Why? because of the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. The Five of Pentacles moves away from the Four of Pentacles. There was a foundation and a way of viewing life that you used to hold on to, but you've learned lessons from that life experience, and you've kind of reconciled yourself with some of these life experiences and realizing that some people maybe have a lack mentality, are more motivated by the world. They're repeating old patterns is what the Six of Cups can talk about. And you also might know some people who are more about themselves in the world, and you find them to be more emotionally shallow and superficial. And you've realized that you can have love for people, and you could have wanted a dream to come into reality, but if they're more defensive and their truth is they want to offer people things of the world in exchange for love, again, shadowy Taurus, a more transactional type relationship. And it's like, sorry, I want more deep, meaningful relationships, and I realize this isn't my truth. And I want to invest in other people who invest in love because I offer people love. And I want to be in relationships with people who've seen the truth of that and want to invest in love. Not be in a relationship where one person's kind of defensive to love, but because of some reason of what they think they've got to offer people, they think people should kind of indulge them in a relationship. And the other people are like, I felt left out and cold in that relationship. It wasn't a very deep, meaningful relationship. Could have been sexual. Could have been a lot of things I liked about it. But it wasn't inspired by truth and love, and that's what I want. That's my truth, and that's what I want to invest in. And if that's not your truth, then you need to go find someone else to go be in a relationship with that's more on the same page as you. And just like some of you have done that, there's other people doing that, moving forward. If they're in relationships with people who are more tempered and balanced and being truthful and looking at life from a higher perspective and investing in love, they're going to keep moving forward with those people, just like you're going to keep moving forward with the people in your life that are in that energy. And sometimes there were some people that we wanted to move forward with us, and they're like, sorry, I'm already in relationships with people like that. And some people who could come towards you that want to be in a relationship with you, and you're like, sorry, you know, that's not my truth anymore, or I've moved on, or I've healed, or I've grown, I've changed. Again, the fives talk about change. Or I'm in a new relationship, and, you know, I'm going to keep moving forward with that. What's coming up? And I think as you move forward in that energy, there's going to be other people that see that you're emotionally balanced, you shine bright in the world, you keep life in perspective, you're not taking action out of more immature energy, you're invested in truth and love, and there's going to be other people that are going to want to be in friendships, relationships, or hire you for a job. What's coming up for people? You've repeated an old pattern and you don't want to repeat that way of people interacting in friendships, workplaces, or relationships. And some people, they keep repeating that old pattern, you know, it's just like you can go take a job somewhere and it's like, oh shit. I cannot believe like how immature these people are and whatever. It's like, yep, I'm leaving. And then other people come there and other people have to go through this deciding if they're going to pick up their investment in it and believe in themselves and detach. And maybe eventually, if it was a job, some of those people would be like, you know, maybe we need to quit investing in kind of this more bossy and controlling person, and we need to move on. And we need to have, you know, because shadowy people can, and immature people and bossy people can hope that other people keep staying codependent on them, and eventually hopefully those people would see the truth. It's like, you know, we're going to have all these good employees leaving because we keep kind of indulging someone in their ego, And we keep hoping one day they're going to grow up and mature themselves, and they don't. And eventually we need to move on from them. What's coming up for some people who harness some worldly, shadowy Taurus energy that they don't see coming? The Five of Swords, the Tower, and the Chariot. Why? Because of the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. Well, they seem to have mental conflict about seeing the truth of their foundation. They might view themselves as loving people, but they're more operating from their more worldly nature, and they really don't. They could invest very little. It's more about the status and the image and looking victorious and successful. And like, if I present myself as a loving person to you and the world around us, and I have this good image, like I present myself like a pillar of society, and they don't understand why people don't want to keep moving forward with them in a relationship. Because the other people have that hopeful, believing spirit. They have taken that cup of love, and they are moving forward authentically from a foundation of love. And they have mental conflict about doing that. Well, no, I just want to look like I'm that type of person, but I really don't want to be that type of person. And that's all the strategy. Can't I live more from my mind than my heart? Look at me. I look like a shining star. Look, I don't maybe act prideful and egotistical in the world. I seem like I'm this balanced person. I look like a shining star. I can get along with people. Can't I just offer you these things of the world in exchange for your love? Isn't that like an even trade? And people can get in those relationships, but eventually they realize, I feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love. And I might have gotten in it because I was in more codependent energy and I had mental conflict about loving myself. But over the course of this situation, I did learn to love myself, to get more balance within myself. And I offered truth and love to these people to move forward with me, to do that work within themselves. And they said no. I want to do life the way I've been doing it. And, you know, if there's kind of more people in the world who have mental conflict about actually tempering their ego to pick up their investment in their more defensive nature or being more about themselves or more about the world, and they're not willing to pick up their investment in that to get more balance within themselves, that we want these things of the world, but love is what makes it worthwhile. And some people are like, you know, if I have sex with someone and I kind of maybe just kind of juggle anyway, you know, who has more status, image, money, materialism? Who's more willing to indulge me in my ego? You know, maybe I'll get in a relationship with someone who doesn't know how to love themselves. Maybe I like being in relationships with people who are more immature and codependent because they won't ever leave. And maybe I don't even really love them, but, you know, I want someone who is defensive to the truth, who maybe doesn't heal and grow and mature themselves, that doesn't require me to heal or grow and mature myself or temper my ego. I think this is like living the dream. It might not be love. And I might feel like I'm kind of missing an opportunity to be with a relationship with loving people. But the price to pay to do love is too great. Again, some people would have to speak the truth. I got a problem with speaking the truth. I have a problem being more authentic in the world. I have a problem being more just and fair. Or I'm out of balance within myself. And instead of putting in the work to work through the things that manipulate me, I keep giving in to just going and getting in different relationships or indulging in these things or making my life about these things because I keep thinking that'll work. And the foundations they try to pursue won't work out the way they want. You know, some people think all I have to do is create this image about who I am, and I'm sure I'll move forward victoriously and successfully. But they can't they can't manipulate other people's intuition. And other people's intuition tells them, I don't think it's really, you might act like you really want to be in a relationship with me. You might act like you really are impressed by me and want to have sex with me or something. But I don't really feel like it's love. I feel like it's either more the codependency or the image or the status. And I feel like I'm out in the cold and I feel juggled and I feel like that's not love. And they can't understand. You know, some of these people put in all this work to look a certain way, but they won't detach from living more from their mind than their heart and really investing within themselves to authentically be a person who is giving and loving, because that is the truth of who they are. And they could think other people don't really do that. That other people live more from their mind than their heart. That everyone is trying to create this illusion. And they just don't get it. You know? It's like, no, other people really are warm and loving and giving and nurturing. It's like it bubbles out of them because that's what they align with within themselves. And some of these people just don't get it. And because of their mental conflict, they'll either be in relationships that are very unstable, not based on love. But if it makes them look like a shining star, some of them are going to stay in it anyway because that's the most important thing. Or being trying to prove a point. Five of Swords can be people who want to win at all costs. I don't care. So long as it looks good, I am mad that some other people loved and believed in themselves and weren't willing to stay with me in a relationship. Wonderful. That's a great reason to move forward in a relationship or not to do love. Just because some people didn't want to move forward with us in a relationship, some people are giving completely up on love. Nope, not going to do it. It's going to be all about me and indulging myself. Well, that was giving up on your dreams. Some people weren't meant to be in our life long term. They were meant to get us to love ourselves. And some people haven't learned that lesson. No, those other people were unkind, unjust, unfair. I let other people who are in shadowy energy make me give up my dreams of love. That was letting shadowy people take your dreams away from you. Other people weren't willing to let hurtful, unkind, unjust, unfair, shadowy people take their dreams away. I tempered my ego. I see that your truth is different than my truth, and I just moved away from you and people who are like you to keep loving and believing myself, loving my own worldly nature to maintain balance within myself, to stand up for what I believe in. I just let go of people who are more motivated by themselves or the world, who hadn't grown and matured themselves to see the truth. And I'm going to go invest in the people who I do think are aligned with the truth. And I'm not willing to give up my dreams. And sadly, other people did. And we can't make other people... They're just going to have to live life and maybe keep being mad, keep being angry, keep being immature, keep feeling unloved because other people in their life didn't love them. It's like we can give ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us and not let those people control us. We can... High Vibe Aquarius is having hope and faith and belief in your dreams. It's not all about us. We're not the star of everybody else's life and the center of the universe. Everybody else has their own life, their own issues, and we need to kind of go with the flow. Be willing to detach in the past. Work through our feeling betrayed to keep investing in love, because love is the answer that sets us free. And as we move forward in that, and if we learn that lesson, And life's all about learning lessons. The next lesson and not repeating that old pattern. But some people don't want to see the truth. There's people in their life that could have been hurtful, could have been unkind, that they have love for, and some of those people still manipulate them or have a hold on them because they've given those people too much power in their life, basically, even though those people aren't moving forward with them. Or they're in a friend group or a family group and they're unwilling to become independent of them to live their own authentic life. And if those friends or family members tell them, I don't like those people that you're moving forward, you shouldn't love and believe in yourself, and you shouldn't hang out with those people, you should move forward with us. And so they keep not loving themselves, and they keep investing because they're in codependent energy with people who really don't have their best interest. Well, I don't want you to go live the life of your dreams, because I'm not. So I'm going to try to hide that I'm trying to manipulate and control you to get you up in your head, to get you up in your fear, to get you up in your defensiveness about loving and believing in yourself and listening to your intuition about the loving, encouraging people in your life. Let all them go. You should move forward with us. But they're kind of immature and not very authentic and loving. But because people have love for them, they let those people keep manipulating them. Well, until they're willing to see the truth of it, their own fear, their own insecurities, their own immaturity, other people in their life that kind of live their life a certain way, they're going to keep indulging those people until they're willing to see the truth. And sometimes we get in relationships with people and we can see what manipulates them, but they don't see it, and it would be like talking to a brick wall. No. And it's like, just like people can, I'm not bossy, I'm not about myself, I'm not manipulative, I'm not immature. It's like, oh my God, you are so immature or whatever, or egotistical or materialistic, or let the whole world manipulate you about how you live your life instead of living your own authentic life. Until they're willing to see the truth, it'll keep causing them a lot of mental conflict, and they'll keep trying to pursue these things that they think are the answer to them being happy, and it'll keep not working out because they keep investing in what isn't aligned with their truth and love. And as long as they keep doing that, it's going to not keep working out. So, high vibe energy, being a leader in the world, being more independent, showing the way, shining your light in the world. This is how you detach and stand up for yourself and what you believe in. Because some of you had to detach and stand up for what you believed in to people in your life that you love because of these things that manipulate them. And until they're willing to do that and stand up against those things or those people or whatever to do that, you're being a shining light. This is how you move on from people that are being manipulative and controlling even though you love them. And some of them are like, oh, I can't become independent of them. It's like, why are you so codependent on them? If it's not really your truth, why do you let them control you? And then some of those people wanted you to let those things or those people be like a third party in your relationship. Well, it manipulates me, so you're supposed to let it manipulate you. It's like, but that's not my truth. That doesn't manipulate me. Well, it manipulates me, so you're supposed to let it manipulate you. Even if it's their friends or family members. It's like, no. You have to find someone else to go along with that plan. That's not my truth. And even though I might not want to go, I will be going. So there you go. Taurus energy, I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.